Welcome to the podcast, Dreamy Cappuccino, where stories, musings, and memoirs fill your cup with inspiration. Get your headphones on, find your favorite chair, and close your eyes. It's time to hit the reset button, and for this hot, foamy cloud of caffeine to take you away on a journey into your imagination. It's time to wake up and go to dreamland.
The legendary Nerve Quarter. There was a little crake, a duck, and 2 empty chairs, sharing a flat together. The 2 empty chairs were identical twins, and they, of course, exactly looked the same. The little crake and the duck, to be precise, the drake, were a couple and madly in love with each other. To the dismay of the twins, they cuddled and kissed constantly, as if there wasn't another tomorrow. To be fair, the little crake and the drake got also quite irritated with the twins, complaining incessantly about their situation being empty chairs. The emphasis was on being empty. The twins felt they didn't live their purpose and that they were actually meant to be governesses in a proper household. Chair governesses for children, preferably twins. That would have been perfect. So they were brooding, feeling utterly displaced, sharing a flat with a couple who didn't seem to do anything else but be madly in love. Both parties got terribly on each other's nerves, and one could often hear them arguing. "Stop this silly cuddling and kissing, it's unbearable, get lost." The answer was prompt. "This is our home. If you don't like it, then move out, so get lost yourselves." One might ask why the 4 of them were living together in the first place, but maybe it is evident. The little crake inherited the flat from her aunt and told the drake, "Let's move in together." And that's what they did. After they had renovated the place the way only ducks and little crakes can do. Ducks waddle clean and little crakes pick things into the right order. The flat was very, very big, and it wasn't a cheap place to run in addition to the mortgage they still had to pay off. And that's how the 2 empty chairs came into play. The 2 empty chairs had been chucked out by the previous owner, who declared them as not being fashionable enough. All of a sudden, they were on the street, without a home and a place of their own for the first time in their lives. They cried out loud, lamenting and not knowing what else to do. This is when the little crake and the drake passed by, and because they had good hearts, they decided to let the twins move in with them, if they shared the running costs with them. The twins agreed thankfully and moved in immediately. They found a job as doubles, which was quite well paid as well. Being a double meant that they agreed to be lent out, replacing other missing chairs for occasions like parties, etc. The 2 clever sisters also thought that this might be an excellent opportunity to find their dream household where they finally could become chair governesses. And so, one might say, the 4 of them had found each other in an emergency situation. Necessity is the mother of invention. But it doesn't guarantee that one gets on with each other, let alone become friends. Somehow, they were all dependent on each other, but found it a big challenge to live with one another. Maybe it was because chairs and birds have so very different personalities, which makes it harder to understand each other. Who knows? Psychologists argue that this could very well be the case. after having witnessed an accumulation of difficulties between chairs and birds becoming their patients. Even the four seriously pondered whether they should go to the therapist, but somehow they thought it a bit too much on the silly side. And so they were sitting in their flat, getting on each other's nerves, not knowing what else to do. There didn't seem to be another option, really. Even the neighbors already had complained about all the noise, the cackle and the gaggle. But once you are irritated, you just can't stop anymore, and it spreads more and more. It's like an addiction. Once irritated, always irritated, and it gets more and more, and you just can't stop it anymore because you somehow need it, even though it gets on your nerves. So everybody became more and more irritated, and the virus spread further and further. First, the neighbors were infatuated, and then even the whole street. And after it had affected the whole quarter, the mayor implanted anti-irritation systems whose loudspeakers were mumbling something soothing constantly. This way, the epidemic could luckily be stopped, and the virus didn't spread any further. But the legendary nerve quarter stayed the legendary nerve quarter, and visitors had to agree to be treated with soothing ultrasound before and afterwards, so that they won't spread the irritation any further. The two empty chairs, the little crake and the drake, probably still get on each other's nerves. Nobody really knows.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Dreamy Cappuccino. The story you just heard can be found in Anya Kirsten's ebook, Inappropriate Colors, 12 Story Delights for the Wacky Mind. All stories are written and narrated by Anya Kirsten, with music composed by Chelsea Edwardson. To learn more about their work and creative opportunities, check out the info on the podcast channel and be sure to subscribe. Lastly, don't hesitate if you have a moment to drop a line and share your experience. See you soon when it's time for another dreamy cappuccino.